Okay, let's unpack this. We get so many questions about complex um, international certification processes.
We do.
And today we're diving into a big one. It's the mandatory multi-stage process for foreign healthcare workers to get licensed and start working in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Right. And that's for everyone. Doctors, nurses, pharmacists, you name it.
So if you're a professional thinking of a move, or maybe you're a recruiter in this space, this deep dive is basically your blueprint.
It really is. And the key thing to grasp from the start is that it's a single, very consistent path. It doesn't matter if you're a dental hygienist or, a consultant neurosurgeon.
So everyone navigates the exact same sequence.
The exact same sequence.
Yeah.
Verification, then classification, and finally the exam. Understanding that fixed order is probably the most valuable thing you can take away today.
And the stakes here are pretty high. This isn't just like filling out some forms. It's a career gatekeeper. So we're going to walk through this whole marathon step by step. We'll get into the nitty-gritty, the portals, the costs, the documents, and maybe most importantly, the pitfalls that can get you rejected.
But we have to start with some context first, because this is a step people often miss, and it's critical.
Okay.
Before you even think about scanning your degree, you have to verify if your profession is readily needed in the KSA market.
So it's a supply and demand thing?
Exactly. The kingdom invests a lot in its own local talent. So some sectors are pretty well covered by qualified Saudi professionals.
Meaning if they have enough, say, local physical therapists, they might not even be recruiting internationally for that role. And this whole licensing process is just a non-starter for you.
Precisely. It's a market needs assessment. If the local pool can't meet the demand, which is often the case in, highly specialized fields, then they recruit internationally. And that's when this whole process we're about to detail really begins.
That sets the stage perfectly. Okay, so let's jump into that first phase. This is where it gets really interesting because you're essentially handing over your entire professional life to a third-party company.
That's right. The first big step is document verification through a company called the DataFlow Group.
And DataFlow, they're not just for Saudi Arabia, right? They're kind of the gold standard for the whole region.
They are. They handle what's called primary source verification, or PSV, for the Saudi Commission for Health Specialty. We'll call it the SCHS, but also for most of the health ministries in the GCC. Their one job is to confirm that your documents are real.
And it's not a casual check, I take it.
Not at all. The SCHS has 3 core areas of documents they need verified, plus your ID. If you're planning this journey, you need to get these 4 things absolutely perfect.
All right, let's nail them down. So number 1 is education.
Education documents, yes. Your degree certificates, diplomas, transcripts, everything academic.
Okay. Number 2.
Your license documents. This means your current active practice license from your home country. It proves you're in good standing right now.
And number 3, this one sounds important, the employment and experience documents.
This is the one that sometimes trips people up. It has to be an official letter from your previous employer, a statement of experience, and it has to be precise. It needs your exact job title and the total number of years you worked there. No vague descriptions.
And the 4th item is just your passport for identity.
Correct. Your international passport.
Yeah.
They want 0 ambiguity.
So let's talk about the pain points everyone wants to know about. How long does this take and what does it cost?
Right. So once you submit to DataFlow, you're in a waiting game. The normal track, you should expect to wait up to a month, maybe even 40 days.
40 days? Wow. And what's the cost for that wait?
That's approximately 800 Saudi Riyal, or SR, and that's just for the verification, not any of the government fees that come later.
But for a lot of people, waiting 40 days just isn't an option. I assume there's a faster way.
There is. There's an express or fast track option.
And how fast is fast?
You're cutting the time down significantly, usually around 2 weeks, 3 weeks maximum. But, you pay for that speed, the cost jumps to over 1,000 SR, sometimes more.
So while you're in this month-long waiting period, what should you be doing? Just waiting? Or should you already be studying for the exam?
Oh, you should absolutely be studying. Think of DataFlow as running in the background. While that's happening, you need to be preparing, because as soon as that report comes through, the clock on the next stage starts ticking much, much faster.
And what is that final output from them? What do you get for your money and your patience?
You get the DataFlow report. It's an official document that confirms 2 simple but vital things. 1, every document you submitted is authentic, and 2, it locks in the exact dates on those documents. It's the certified proof you need for the next step.
And without that clean DataFlow report, you're just stuck. You can't move on.
You can't proceed. It's your ticket into the SCHS Mumaris Plus portal.
Okay, so that takes us to this second and honestly what sounds like the most nerve-wracking phase, the classification gauntlet.
That's a good way to put it. This all happens on the official SCHS platform, the Mumaris Plus portal. After you verified authenticity, now it's about determining your professional rank.
So you log in, create a profile, and you upload everything, your original documents, and that new DataFlow report to prove they're real.
Exactly. And here's where it gets a little subjective. The classification can take a week or two, but applicants often have to choose the rank they want to be classified as.
Wait, hold on. You choose your own rank. Like, you can just say, I want to be a consultant. Why would they do that?
It's a really interesting strategic element they've built in. But they're not just taking your word for it. They are extremely thorough. They don't just look at your years of experience. They often dig deep into the curriculum and training programs of your university.
So they know what a medical degree from, say, India or the US typically covers, and they'll match it against their own standards for a specialist or consultant rank.
Precisely. The system judges if your training and experience is truly equivalent to what KSA requires for that title. And if you choose consultant, but your paperwork only supports specialist, that's where you get rejected.
And that rejection stops the whole process cold. What are the common reasons that they give?
They're very specific. Things like insufficient study, which points to your degree program, insufficient training, maybe you missed a residency component, or just insufficient experience. Not enough years in the clinic for the rank you chose.
That is critical to know. So if you get rejected for one of those reasons, not fraud, but a mismatch, what's the remedy? Do you have to start all over again with DataFlow?
Thankfully, no, you don't have to re-verify. But you do have to, well, lower your expectations. The only way forward is to reapply to the SCHS at a lower rank. You have to step below, go from consultant down to specialist, for example.
So the big lesson here is that being downgraded is much better than being rejected and losing all that time. The system wants to get you classified at some level.
That's it. And the successful outcome of this whole classification process is that they issue you a crucial piece of information. Your eligibility number.
The eligibility number. That's the golden ticket to the final stage, right? The actual exam.
That's exactly it. You use that number to register for the Saudi licensing exam for your specific profession, which most people know as the Prometric Exam.
Okay, so we've gone from a time-consuming document check to a nerve-wracking ranking process, and now we're at the final hurdle, a big standardized test.
And this stage has its own ticking clock. That eligibility number you worked so hard to get, it's only valid for 1 year.
Just 1 year from the day your classification is approved.
1 year. And within that year, you are only allowed 3 attempts to pass the Prometric Exam.
3 attempts in 365 days. That's immense pressure. If you fail all 3, I assume your eligibility number expires, and you might have to go through that whole costly classification process all over again.
The stakes are incredibly high, yes. The Prometric Exam is the final quality check. DataFlow proved your papers were real. Mumaris Plus proved your experience was sufficient for a rank, and this exam proves you have the knowledge to practice safely.
And if you pass the exam within those 3 tries, what's the last little bit of admin?
Once you pass, you're on the home stretch. You go back to the Mumaris Plus portal for the final registration step. That leads directly to your official KSA practice license being issued. You've made it.
So what does this all mean when you put it together? You have this clear journey, document audit, then professional ranking, then the knowledge test.
Exactly.
We've identified costs starting around 800 SR just to get started, and a timeline that, even on the fast track, takes well over a month before you can even think about the exam.
The biggest takeaway here should be preparation and, strategic patience. The DataFlow part is non-negotiable. The classification step is where you have a major strategic choice to make, where being a little humble might save you a lot of time and money.
And the Prometric Exam just demands serious study, especially with that 1-year, 3-attempt deadline hanging over your head.
It really paints a picture of a system that is deeply committed to quality control at every single step.
It's a rigorous system, for sure, but it's built on very clear sequential rules. This has been an incredibly helpful breakdown.
My pleasure.
And for you, our listener, let's leave you with a final thought to mull over, building on that high-stakes classification stage. Given that the system makes you choose your own rank and rejection forces a delay, how do you play it? Do you strategically aim for a slightly lower rank that you know you'll get, say, specialist instead of consultant, just to secure that approval and eligibility number fast, get your foot in the door knowing you could apply for an upgrade later? Or do you risk it all for the higher title from day one, knowing a rejection could cost you months? It's a fascinating question of speed versus status in a very competitive global market. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.